All right, you guys. Yeah, I've been busy trying to prepare for the storm. My son just got home, and on yesterday, one of my banks merged to another bank, which is called United Bank, and I've had to manually go on and change account information primarily for my business. Um, and just having to deal with that. And some of the, something strange about this United Bank. And when I figure it out, I'm not even trying to figure it out, but I am trying to get some things, make sure some things go through smoothly during this transition time. Make sure some transactions go through smoothly during this transition time. And then I'm probably going to move those two accounts. I don't want to move them to the other bank that I bank with, but I'll figure it out. Okay, you guys? Anyways, a headache. All right. Um, when I seen Tropical Storm I'm going to call it that, coming off the coast, I felt the need to keep an eye on it. Because I knew that it would have a longer time spent in the ocean to gain strength and so on and so forth before it hit here. And also, two more reasons. The Lord told me that showed me in an open vision that I probably shared like 3 months ago that we would have an unusually active hurricane season. And so far, the Lord was right. Of course he is. We're in the letter I as far as named storms. I think we had one in the Pacific, in the Gulf, and other places. And number 3, 10 months ago, the Lord showed me a major storm that would hit the southeast or South Carolina. And during that time, we were dealing with Hurricane Dorian, which I believe ended up being something like a Category 1. Okay, not that much of a threat to us. But some lost power for like 2 weeks. I think we lost power for like 2 hours. But also during that time, it was the anniversary of Hugo. And I remember sharing that dream and not being given the information whether or not it would be Dorian or another storm. Okay. But it was taking the path of Dorian, coming up from the islands. And I made that clear. When we live here, I think I mentioned this, because I live in Charleston, right where this storm is heading at. Okay. Once it leaves the coast of Florida. When we have storms like that, we need to pray. Okay, the God's will be done. I believe, I have faith that prayer changes things. Okay, and we know that these fools are juicing up the storms. Okay, thank God that we have prayer here. Our governor leads in prayer here before every news conference during situations like this. I believe also during his briefings on the pandemic. Okay. So when I seen that This storm, I seen it 2 days ago, either a day and a half ago or 2 days ago, that there were eruptions of moisture. And I don't remember the channel's name. If I find him, I'll leave his link below. But he showed, within the last year or 2 years, how these eruptions are unusual and probably geoengineered. Okay, you'll have this mass, as you see here in the red, and then all around it, or close to the edge of it, you'll have these eruptions of moisture that get wrapped up into the mass body, or the body of mass, and then you have these storms just erupt and get larger. Okay, they look like plumes of smoke that or plumes, like explosions, literally. Okay, and I think he was one of the first to point out how that tied into Hurricane Harvey. All right, and you can actually see it on the weather map, and I think I seen it on our local news when they were showing it. Those, showing it in the storm in the white form with the clouds. You'll see this just eruptions, and they look purposely placed to increase the intensity of the storm, generating more moisture and whatever else they do to manipulate these storms. Okay, you guys? I'm going to play the first 3 minutes of this, and I'll let you hear what BP Earthwatch says. I don't believe that the dream that the Lord showed me is the storm, but if this thing gets any larger, okay, because in the dream I felt like it was a major storm, like a 4, okay, like at least, somewhere on a greater scale. I don't think it'll have time to get any bigger than a Cat 1, which it's supposed to reach probably by tomorrow. But this is 2020, you guys. Okay? There should be no one asleep right now as to the devices of our government. Because, one, it's time to go home. And two, they're trying to compile disaster on top of disaster. The whole 2020 has been a disaster. Okay, so don't put it past them to just pile things on top of each other while the economy is sinking. People are losing their homes. People are getting sick with something. New viruses reemerging, and now, right in the middle of hurricane season. And this wasn't even supposed to be, quote, the second wave. The second wave was supposed to come during the fall. Okay? They never let a good crisis go to waste. Nobody should be, and that's one of the reasons why when the Lord showed me we would have an active hurricane season, and he showed me twice to stock up on things. Don't wait till the last minute to get things, you guys. I told you guys then, because we may very well be facing another lockdown. Okay? Maybe very well facing another lockdown soon, depending on how they want to egg it up and juice it up in the news. All right, you guys? About the numbers. You know what I'm talking about. So, at this point in 2020, August 2nd, we should be using wisdom not to wait on them to tell us when to move. Because just like in Australia, you can wake up the next day and be back under a lockdown. All right? That happened today. I heard a call for uprising, put that video out. I'm not sure if it happened today, but he reported it on today. And I feel like it just happened here in the last 24, 48 hours. Okay, you guys, please be wise. I didn't say hoard stuff. I said use wisdom, okay? Do what you can. This is the season I feel like the Lord can multiply. And if you have it, you may be just being going to be used as to be a blessing to others who can't. All right? Do what the Lord leads you to do. All right? I'll play this and I'll let this end.
August the 2nd, 2020. Guys, an update on Tropical Storm Isaias. Very strange things happened last night, and I've been watching these hurricanes since 64, 65. And, of course, we got better technology, but it hasn't changed that much in the last few years. But you're looking at one of the last frames as it was getting from yesterday as the sun was going down. We're switching into infrared here. And the storm had come over the large Bahama Island here, moved into open waters, and it sped back up temporarily. Then it started mingling with the upper islands in the Bahama chain here. And this is the one that got devastated a couple years ago when this 180-mile-per-hour hurricane set there for about 2 days. That was a very strange occurrence also. I don't know what's going on in this area. But I don't know if it's a magnetic anomaly or what is going on or some type of manipulation. But this is the size of the storm. Now, it was smaller than this a few frames back. I've gone back as far as the radar will let me go in this sequence. But if you look at the video yesterday, we saw the storm come off the Grand Bahama, or the large island here, and skirt out from under the top of the clouds. Remember, the wind shear was pushing it up to the top right of this image, but you could very, very clearly see the circulation at the lower level in the white layer. Well, I noticed this last night, that the area was starting to expand, but I want to play this through for you. Now, look at the size of it last night. We're going to go through the night as we play this. Going into full nighttime infrared imaging. Tries to make a break for the land right there. Look at that on the outside, and then it's pushed back. Gets up to the top islands, and it starts to explode. Watch. Going into the day. Look at that. And the center has bounced offshore. Very strange indeed. Usually these things are well defined one way or the other by the time they get in. I know it's warmer waters right here because of the Gulf of Mexico, but it's either there's something different going on. I know we're in grand solar minimum. I was calling this way before anyone on the weather was. I don't even know if they still even talk about it as far as the effect on weather. I really don't think they do. But look at that. Such a rapid explosion is what I'm talking about. And you can see where it's at. It's off the coast now, Florida. Almost a very well-defined eye in this particular image. And going into last night, the sun's going to rise. And right as it gets into the same area, that huge storm stopped 2 years ago. Never came into Florida. It sat there and just almost destroyed that island. Remember the flooding up to the second floors of the homes and just total devastation of that island? Same area as it's getting there, right about here. Coming into this morning. Now, it's not predicted to become a hurricane again, but that's some very strong and powerful explosions as far as size. I've never seen this happen before, guys. If you can remember something happening this quick, this close to shore, remind me, and I'd like to go back and try to find the radar of it. Let's look at some of the modeling. Now, this was updated at 11 a.m.
All right, you guys, I'll leave this below. If you live on the East Coast, just keep an eye on this and any other storm coming afterwards. Okay, you guys. Hope everyone stays safe, and I will talk with you later, okay?